About a year ago, I took a pet sitting job for an elderly couple in my neighborhood. They were leaving town for a long weekend and needed someone to look after their dog, Max, and their cat, Lily. Their house was about a 10-minute walk from mine, so it seemed like an easy gig. The first day went smoothly. Max was a friendly golden retriever who loved playing fetch, and Lily mostly kept to herself. But on the second evening, things started to feel off. When I arrived at the house, Max was acting strangely. He stood by the front door, staring intently at something outside. His ears were pinned back, and he let out low growls. I looked outside but didn't see anything. Figuring it was just a raccoon or another dog passing by, I shrugged it off and went to feed him and Lily. But Max wouldn't eat. He just kept pacing around the living room, occasionally letting out soft whines. Later that night, as I was watching TV in their living room, I heard a faint noise coming from upstairs. It sounded like footsteps. At first I thought it might be Lily, but then I realized the steps were too heavy for a cat. I froze. The couple had told me they'd locked all the doors and windows before leaving, and I hadn't touched anything upstairs. Max was now growling more aggressively, his eyes fixed on the staircase. Summoning what little courage I had, I grabbed Max's leash and quietly made my way to the front door. The moment we stepped outside, Max barked furiously, his attention snapping to an upstairs window. When I looked up, I saw it. A shadowy figure standing there, barely visible behind the curtain. I didn't wait around to investigate. I called the couple, then the police. When they searched the house, they didn't find anyone, but a window in the upstairs bedroom was unlocked. The strange part? That window was above the porch roof, and the only way someone could have reached it was with a ladder. I was hired to watch a family's dog, Bella, while they went on vacation. Bella was a sweet black Labrador who loved being outdoors. They had a large, fenced-in yard, so I'd let her out to play during the day and bring her in at night. One evening, as the sun was setting, I let Bella out for her usual playtime while I cleaned up in the kitchen. After about 10 minutes, I called her back inside, but she didn't come. I stepped outside and looked around the yard. It was completely still. No wind, no crickets, just eerie silence. I called her name again, louder this time, but there was no sign of her. Starting to panic, I checked the fence. It was intact, with no gaps or holes she could have squeezed through. I grabbed a flashlight and began searching the yard more thoroughly. That's when I noticed something strange. Bella's favorite toy, a red ball, was lying in the far corner of the yard, just outside the fence. I was sure it had been inside earlier. I climbed over the fence to grab the ball, and as I picked it up, I felt like someone was watching me. I scanned the surrounding trees with my flashlight, but didn't see anything. Suddenly, I heard rustling behind me. When I turned around, Bella was standing there on the other side of the fence, staring at me. Her fur was wet and matted, as if she'd been swimming, but there were no pools or streams nearby. I called her over, and she hesitated for a moment before finally coming inside. That night, I locked every door and window in the house. Bella stayed close to me, refusing to leave my side. The next morning, the family called to check in, and when I told them what happened, they went silent. After a pause, they said, "That's strange. The last sitter told us something similar happened, but we thought they were exaggerating." I was pet sitting for a couple who had 2 cats and an exotic bird. They lived in an old Victorian house with creaky floors and a strange layout. One of the cats, Tinker, liked to hang out in the hallway outside a room they told me not to enter. The room was locked, and they hadn't explained why I couldn't go inside. They just said, "It's best if you leave it alone." Every evening, Tinker would sit outside the door, staring at it like he was waiting for something. The first time it happened, I didn't think much of it. Cats are weird after all. But one night, as I was feeding the other cat and the bird, I heard scratching at the door. I walked into the hallway and found Tinker pawing at it, letting out low, guttural meows I'd never heard from him before. When I tried to pick him up, he hissed and ran off. That's when I noticed the door handle. It was moving slowly, as if someone on the other side was trying to open it. I backed away, my heart racing. I called the couple and told them what was happening. They stayed silent for a moment before one of them said, "It's nothing to worry about. Just ignore it." Ignoring it was easier said than done. For the rest of my time there, I kept hearing faint noises coming from that room. Scratching, tapping, even what sounded like whispers. When the couple returned, I asked them directly what was in the room. They just smiled nervously and said, "Oh, it's just storage." I didn't press further, but as I was leaving, I noticed Tinker sitting in the hallway again, staring at that door, as if he knew something I didn't.